Oh, thank you.
Just wind the clock back 5 years.
Okay, 5 years.
Think about what you... Where were you 5 years ago?
What year was that?
2007?
2006, 2007. I was 20... Well, yeah, so I was about 21, 22. I think I just split up with my girlfriend of 2 years. I was working as a recruitment consultant in Witham for prime appointments, which was good fun. And I remember just thinking what I want to do. And I remember applying for a couple of... My mum applied for me to come and do Deal or No Deal.
Your mum did it for you?
Yeah, and then in 2007 I did Deal or No Deal, and I won a £10 note.
Oh, did you? Can I ask,
Bringing back memories.
Did you meet the banker?
I didn't. No, you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to?
It's a big secret of the show.
Even if you're on the show, you don't know who it is?
But I spoke to him. No.
Oh, so he's on the phone. There is
someone on the phone. Yeah. So I spoke to someone on the phone, but I never met the banker.
Oh.
But yeah, it was great. I mean, that was a long time ago, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, you know, I was happy what I was doing, happy working. But I just felt like I wanted to do something different with my life and try something different. And you know, the X Factor was the door, really. So
what was it that kind of made you, you know, how did you become aware of X Factor? How did the whole process start thinking, you know, I'm just going to have a go at that?
Oh, right. At first, I think I was a bit like everyone else that can sing. You generally watch the programme at the X Factor and you think it's amazing. I'd love to go on it, but you think, oh, there's never going to be a chance. You know, where am I going to, you know, get the audition? You know, there's going to be thousands and thousands of people going, and the people who get through are the ones that are like done Brit School and have done this and done that. You know, who's going to take some guy that just sings down the pub with his mates or in a little band? You know. Didn't think I was ever going to get the opportunity, because you know, when you are a singer and you want to do this, and I'm sure there's people listening that maybe are, you think that there's no real avenue. I wasn't sure who to speak to. I wanted to get into the industry. I wanted to do singing. I wanted to do albums and stuff, but I just didn't really know the contacts and the right people. So I went online and applied for the X Factor, and I went for an audition, and you know, Bob's your uncle, really.
Were you still working at that point? Were you still kind of doing the 9 to 5 job?
Yeah, I was working 9 to 5, and I actually, people might not know this, but I actually applied for the X Factor 3 times. The third time, obviously, of course, I got to the actual show, blah, blah, blah. But I applied for it twice before and got rejected. But for some reason, every time I went, and people will say this if you could do job interviews, or, you know, you play for a football team or something, sometimes when it comes to them big moments, you always feel like you could have done more. And like, if you go for a job interview, sometimes you walk out and you go, I could have done better than that. And when I did my auditions for the X Factor, it was the same. Every time I got rejected and told down, I was like, do you know what? I don't think I sold myself enough. So the third time I went, I decided to really go for it. And here I am now.
So you're on the telly on the first live show. And Peter Dixon's there with the whole Olly Murs thing. How do you, your hands, your palms? You must have been, really nervous. Surely.
Yeah, it was the most. You know, it was an incredible feeling to do the X Factor and be on the live show and be in front of 20 million people. I think it's like 12 or 30 million people at the start of the show, but it was an incredible feeling. I kind of feel. That's why I kind of feel a little bit for Frankie at the moment on the show, because I know he's got a lot of rap and he hasn't helped himself out, but I think he feels a little bit like I felt when I was on the show. You know, I wasn't the best vocally out of everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, there was some great singers my year, and I wasn't the worst singer of the bunch, but I wasn't the best singer of the bunch. And I think he's feeling that at the moment. He isn't the best vocally of the group, and he's very open about that. And he's doing it in the wrong way. He's going out and getting drunk, and he's having fun and stuff, which is fine. But with me, I just got my head down and said, right, well, let's see what I can do with this. What can I do? I can either sink or swim. You know what I mean? So I went for it, and I got my audition, and every week I went out there with a smile on my face and enjoyed the experience. And I think people at home enjoyed me having fun.
We'll talk about we'll talk about this year's X Factor a bit more in a bit, because I know you've got the kind of the backstage bit, but the extra factor as well. So you've got the presentation bit as well now.
Perfect.
You've got a tour coming up next year.
Yes. Well, I did the Regent's Theatre this year.
Yeah, I know.
Which was incredible in Ipswich. We started the tour here, and it was amazing. I didn't realise. I mean, obviously I'm at Essex end towards London.
Yeah.
And I get to come to Suffolk and Norfolk a few times, but it's very rare, because I don't know why, I just did schedule and work and stuff like that. So it was really good for me to come to Ipswich, because I know I've got a really good fan base up this end. Yeah. And because, I'm quite close to you guys as well. So it was perfect for me to come up here, and it was great because I've got kind of a connection with Ipswich, because my cousin plays Ipswich Town. He's an academy boy.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's playing there at the moment, and he's doing really, really well. So kind of, I feel like this a bit, I feel like Ipswich is like my second home at the moment. So I've come up here a few times to watch him play, and it was great to come up here on the tour. And like I say, I've got the arena tour coming this year, which is the big ones, the big stage.
I was going to say, how does it feel now? Because you say, we know the gig at the Regent, and you've done the theatre gigs and the live TV, but now, in 2012,
in the big arenas,
we're talking London's O2 here. We're talking, Wembley Arena and the biggies, the Liverpool Echo. I mean, these are massive venues. Yeah,
well, I mean, I had a bit of a taste of it when I did the X Factor, and I've had a bit of a taste of it throughout the last 2 years doing the promoting of my album. I've done lots of different radio events where I performed in big arena stadiums, obviously with other acts. So to finally get my own big bill, my own big tour is incredible. I'm really, really excited about it, and I put a lot of effort into my live performances. And for anyone that came to Ipswich, I really give 125%. I really give everything because it means a lot to me. And like I say, I'm really looking forward to coming to the arena tour, and I really hope people, if anyone's listening that wants to come, please come along, because I have a really good laugh, and it's something that I take pride on, and I really want to make sure it's a good live show. And I think you don't get enough of it these days. Sometimes you go to a show and you see I'm not an amazing artist. I feel like I'm a good artist, but there's a lot of artists I go and watch and see, and I think, yeah, their songs are good, but I'm not really feel like I can get them to know the person. And I feel like when I perform, I talk and I express myself, and I am who I am. And,
heart and soul, everything's on stage.
Well, hopefully, like I say, the tour's going to be great, and hopefully we can get everyone to come along. It'll be a good night.
Better just do a couple of hellos.
Yeah, certainly can, of course.
Are they called the Ollyettes?
The Ollyettes are my sort of fan group. When I first started Twitter, I only had about 14,000 followers on there.
Yeah, right.
When I first started off the X Factor, well, compared to all the other ones that were on X Factor at the time, they had loads more than me. And they formed a group called the Ollyettes, and they've been with me ever since the last 2 years. And I've just met Chloe outside, and there's Amy Jade as well. And
Chloe and Amy, they've written you a lovely letter.
I know, I've just read it here.
They've just tweeted
beautiful
about
letter.
Go on, read the first line. It's great.
No, that was really, really nice letter from Chloe. She says, I want to tell you how proud I am to be an Ollyeette. I think I'm writing this on behalf of all other Ollie fans. Since leaving the X Factor, you've given us so many great things. For example, your album was just amazing, and I can't wait for the next one. Brilliant. And it goes on and on. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
To those asking, incidentally, on Facebook and Twitter today, Ollie is with us. He's here in the studio, Town 102 in Ipswich. You can see him. We've turned the webcam around. You're on.
Do you know what I really like, though? I love when the fans do this. This is really cool because these are the album titles in my new album.
All right.
So it says, "Oh my goodness! In case you didn't know, this song is about you. I've tried everything, but I'm okay. On my cloud. Please dance with me tonight and make my heart skip a beat. I'll just smile. We can tell the world or anywhere else. There's no way I don't love you too."
And they've not only have they written you a letter, they've plugged
used
your
all
album.
I know they just plugged my album. It's brilliant, isn't it? But no, I love my fans. Like I say, when I came to Ipswich and Suffolk, it was brilliant. The tour was great, and they were one of the best audiences I had on the tour. And I'm really hoping they enjoyed the new album that's going to be coming out.
The album is you just said it there. In case you don't know, 28th of November.
Yes,
is the release date. And obviously, Heart Skips a Beat was the first single from it. Number one.
Yes, it was number one. It was
your second number one, wasn't it?
Yeah, my second number one, and it was my biggest selling single that I've ever had. It sold really, really well. And yeah, it's been brilliant. Heart Skips a Beat's been a fantastic record for me. It's been a great start to this album campaign. And yeah, the new album's coming out, and we called it In Case You Didn't Know in a kind of a cheeky way, really. So I'm Olly Murs. My album In Case You Didn't Know. But then also there is actually one of the tracks on the album that I'm really, really proud of as well. So it's kind of a mixture between both. But I'm really happy about it. I'm really excited about it coming out.
Second album, of course, is extra excitement, I guess, because the big follow-up.
It's always the second album's always the Achilles heel, isn't it? It's always the difficult one, and you do feel added pressure. I mean, I didn't feel any pressure when I released the first album because I was like, whatever happens, happens. And the thing about it is in this industry, you get that little bit of taste of success, and you've done well, and you just want to maintain it. And hopefully the second album will kick on as well as the first. We'll see.
Who have you worked with on this one? Because obviously Little Kicks on the first single, but
pretty much the same people as I did on the first. I wanted to keep the I wanted to move it on, which I think the record has, and it's much more not mature record. It's still just that little bit. I think I've taken it to another level, but not a massive level, but just taking it to the next step. And I wanted to make sure that the writers did the same with me, So I didn't want to go drastic. A lot of these people go to like America and they go all across Europe and they sort of, I'm sure eventually I'll do that. But there's some amazing writers in this country, and I got involved with them guys and we wrote some really, really cool tunes, and I'm really happy with the outcome.
How does it work, with you on the Extra Factor, on the telly? You're there every week, and all these other kind of massive names, the big, massive artists are there on the Sunday night. And you kind of going, do you know, Rihanna, if you fancy a collaboration next year around the time,
Well, I'm always on a Sunday going, I wish I was on stage performing. I'm more the opposite, really. No, I mean, look, some of these amazing artists, there's always great to do a collaboration, but I think it's always at the right time in your career and when you feel like you're at the point where it's going to work.
Yeah.
And the Rizzle Kicks worked for me and for them because, I needed to get some cool guys on the song to sell the song. It was great without the guys, but they give that little bit of extra, little bit of something, a little bit of extra spice that you need, and the Rizzle Kicks done that with me really. And then whenever you do collaborations, you have to get it right. You have to get it right. It can fall and it won't be as good as you thought. So maybe in the future I'll get into a few collabs, but no, I mean every time on a Sunday when I'm down there, it's always a case of I'm biting my lip because I really want to get on stage and perform myself. But
you can have a little word, and
well, hopefully I will. I mean, obviously, with the new single "Dance with Me Tonight" coming out, hopefully we'll be doing that on the show. I don't know. It sounds really biased, isn't it? When you just hear a song and you're like, I really like my own song. So I actually dance to my own song.
This song's brilliant, isn't it?
It's good that I like it. Because do you know what? One thing is, I've spoken to a lot of artists about this in the past, and I've even spoken to other people that have managed other artists, and they do songs, or maybe not write the songs, or they get given songs to sing. And they all their whole career they have to sing it because it's been a big hit, and they hated every single minute of singing it. Whereas at least I at least regardless of where I go in my career, all the music that I do, I love it so much. When I sing, and I feel so passionate about it that regardless of where I am, if I'm going to be singing it down your local somewhere, or in a tour somewhere, I know that I'm going to love singing it, and so that's what fills me. Every time I hear "Dance with Me Tonight," I'm just like, I like this song.
How cool was it as well? The first single, Please Don't Let Me Go. How was it in your mind and your reaction and your family's reaction actually when you first heard that song played on a radio station?
Oh, it was a brilliant feeling. I think it was when you hear it on the radio, it was incredible. I'll never forget the feeling of being in a car and hearing it being played. Oh. But it was when it went number one that was like, oh my god, it took such a relief off my shoulders, because when you do a reality show like the X Factor, there's so much stigmas to it, and no one really sees that really. People once you finish the X Factor, no one really sees what I go through in terms of when I'm getting a record played and going to radio stations and the stigmas that comes with the X Factor, because people just have this label that we're not going to pay any people that come from the X Factor. And I've always said a hit's a hit. A song's if a song's good enough, it should go on radio. And regardless of who you are as an artist, you play that song and you judge it on the song, not from where he's come from or who that person is. And Please Don't Let Me Go was just a shot in the dark. Really, we wrote the song and I wrote it and with a couple of guys, and we put this reggae vibe on it, and that's where we wanted to go. And that's the feel we wanted with it, and we produced it all, and we just said, this is a really good song. This is a hit, and you never quite know it. Again, you have your sort of, I can't remember what the years are called. You have your own, again, you have your biases, and you're like, this is a hit record. This is a number one, and then you just think, it could all flop, But lucky enough, it went out there on radio, and people were really liking it. And I think we just hit it at the right time because it was the summer still, coming to the end. It just had this really good summer feel, and also I think people were just loving that sort of reggae vibe, which was great. So it worked.
Tell me about. Well, we talked about the tour actually, which starts February next year, isn't it? And it starts in Cardiff. I've got the list in front of me. Throughout February to the O2. When do the tickets go on sale for that?
Tickets are on sale now.
They've started now.
And they've been started on sale. They went on sale. I think it was about a month ago now.
Okay, cool.
And we're doing really, really well. It's really starting to sell out now, which is brilliant. We've still got tickets available, so please, if anyone's interested, there's loads of room. There's always room. There's always room around. We will squeeze anyone in. But no, there's tickets are selling really, really well. And like I say, we're really, really excited about it. And please, if you want to come along to the tour, do.
Please do.
Hope you have a good year. We will enjoy it, I'm sure, hopefully.
if there's going to be
If
songs
not,
like
there'll be
that,
some good.
there's
If not, there'll be
definite
some good
standout.
support acts before. So if all
Come
else
to my tour
fails,
and see the support.
if all else fails,
Hello to Megan Osman, also on Twitter. Can we say hi to you and Ollie? I'm at home ill. Wish I could so be there right now.
ah, Megan, I hope you feel better.
Get well soon.
Yeah, get well soon.
Let's talk finally before you go.
She hasn't got a sore throat like Kelly did the other day.
Come on, yeah. Was that sore throat or was that? Do you know what? I'm having a strop.
Do you know
I'm
what?
not coming out to play.
Do you know what? We had Rufus Hound on our show, and do you know what? He summed it up perfectly. He said, "You know, we go to work. We sometimes have a sore throat, don't we? But we still go in because that's what we do." Oh, and I get a sore throat, and I can't sit behind the judging panel. What he said was actually spot on. But you know, Kelly did sound really bad, and to be honest, when she did leave that week to go home, she did sound like she was coming down with something. So bless her.
This whole Gary and Louis arguing every week. Well, actually, Kelly and Toulouse are now arguing. I mean, is it for the camera, or do they when they're on that when they're on the set and they're on the telly and their acts are up there? It gets heated. Is it real?
Look, at the end of the day, they're mentoring their acts, and if their acts are going to get bad comments by people, they're going to defend them. That's what they're there to do.
Yeah.
They're my acts. Well, why did you say that for then, Louis? What's your view behind that? You know, hey Louis, why are you saying that about my acts? Hey, it's just my opinion. But no, they're done. But do you know what? That you know, at the end of the day, you have to make a judgment and you make an opinion on that song. If they don't like it, then fair enough. That's my opinion. So, but it is completely real. Everyone is on tenterhooks down at the moment. Me and Caroline are like, oh my god, what are we going to expect tonight? But do you know what? They're brilliant judges. They're great to have around, and they really take our humour on our show they really take it well and have a laugh with it, and it's good.
Can you just ask Louis when you're there at the weekend? Okay, Louis goes. He keeps trotting out every now and again. He comes back to you, but it's a singing competition. Well, if it was a singing competition, what was going on with Goldie? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but do you know what though? I had this view on Goldie, but do you know what? She was something special, Goldie.
Yeah.
She would have been TV gold if you'd have had her on the show. She would have been TV gold.
Yeah.
But look, it is a singing competition, and we need to identify that, and we have now. I think if you look at the competition now. Yes, there'll be people saying Frankie. No, Frankie can't sing. Whatever, you know. There's something about Frankie.
It's the whole act, though.
It's the whole act with Frankie. But you know, you've still got now you've got Kitty in there. You know, you've got Janet Devlin. You've got Misha B. You've got the Little Mix girls. You've got Craig now. You've got Marcus. You've got some solidly good singers in there now. And they're the ones that they're the final 7. They're the ones that the public are voting for. They're the ones that the public want to see in the final. And there's a winner in there. Now there's a final 7. There is going to be an X Factor winner now. It's sort of getting to that point now where you forget that someone's going to win this competition at some point. And we've got a really good final 7. It could be anyone's.
It's not popular, but there's something about Frankie. And yeah, you're right. The voice ain't
great. There is just something about Frankie. You know what? There was something about Jedward, and there was something about Wagner's, and there was something about Chico. You know, remember we're going back. You know, 8-7 years ago when Chico was on the scene, and everyone was saying he couldn't sing, but there was something about Chico. He was a likeable guy, to be fair. Yeah. I think with Frankie, he's almost like Marmite. The girls are going to love him. The guys are going to hate him.
I quite like Kitty as well when she sings.
Kitty's a great act. Kitty, do you know what? I would go so far as to say she's been the most consistent contestant, along with Misha and Craig have been consistent, but I think, do you know what I love about Kitty? She raises it every week.
Yeah.
She brings out a different song. She goes different with it. She makes the song her own. She really is coming into her own in this competition. And I think she's a big threat to anyone. She's not getting the public vote, which is understandable because she's had a rough ride. But I think she's winning them over. I think gradually she'll progress. She could well be in the final. I don't know. But, Louis down to his last over now. So it's going to be tough.